always like that. It's like in the movie, and then the music is the personality or the spine or the wind in the sail, and it's like new stuff, you know, like a little bit of a different vibe and a certain energy of like this kind of and mix, because Charlie, what I love about like the architecture, the music, and writing and figuring out how to, you know, because it really kind of defines everything in a way. Like if I was to play something, it hurt me when we stopped playing that last track. I kind of just wanted to come up here and still hear it, but it's like it defines everything, and like each character has what they want. So Charlie's like this butt rock, sledge rock, kind of high on fire, and Bonnie's got this weird kind of retro cabaret, you know, like there was like different, you know, Fuzz had that crunchy kind of almost bad Jack in House music. It's so good. Yeah. Playing it, and then some stuff changes in the edit, you know, and there's cool discoveries all along. Colin Hegner wrote that song Blood Moon in the Dark Room for the movie, so that was a treat. And it's my first time using a little score cue.
But you know, on that note, before I'd even got to New Orleans, before we met properly, Lily sent me a playlist with songs that really helped unlock the character. All of my family that are here tonight know those songs inside out. We shot this movie 2019, and my Spotify playlist, like the most played songs of 2020 was all the fucking Fuzz songs. And you know, it was very informative, you know, but then it was like I came to the costume fitting. First time we ever met face to face, and she walks in with the boombox, blaring out all these tunes. She's got a dog with her, and it was like a roller coaster. It was like 24 hours compressed into like 2 hours of, it was like a Mardi Gras of colors and amethyst earrings, and you know what I mean? And then every time we were on set, sometimes she wouldn't even stop playing the boombox. I'd hear them say action, like underneath the boombox, you know, because
Sound guys love me.
Yeah, but it's vibes, you know, and I think that's what you see when you see this movie. And we all watch so many movies, but they haven't got vibe. You know, it's like people. You know, some people you meet, they just have an energy. They fill up the room, and this little lady has that big energy. She fills up the room, and her music, it permeates that, and it's a real big part of the movie. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that question.
Any other questions out there? Yeah, a question just here, and then we'll take one in the front row next.
So it's for Ed specifically. What was that accent that you were doing, and how did you develop it?
What was that? So actually, what unlocked it was beautiful. And first of all, I think we need I hope we need a round of applause. By the way you asked that question, I mean, I'm going to boo her. My dialects coach is here. So Rebecca, please a round of applause for her. Yeah, so the dialect was kind of the only thing I was kind of scared about taking on the role. Everything else, I was like, oh, right, I got this. And we were working on some Louisiana stuff, the street stuff, and then Lily contacted me and said, I've got this guy who's the street caster, the street casting agent who got all of the street guys in the movie, and I love the way he speaks. His name's Brent. So he recorded some Bukowski poems. And as soon as we got them, me and Rebecca were like, oh, okay, this is it. He just unlocked everything. And it was like the birth of the character. So what's interesting, that the accent I'm doing is Brent. And I went to meet up with Brent, and we went for a coffee in New Orleans when I was there, and it was just a trip, just hearing him speak, because he speaks like Fuzz, you know. But yeah, he was a sweet dude. I wanted to get him to be one of the guys in my crew, just to be there as a little Easter egg, but he couldn't do it because of, I think it was some American labor things or whatever, contractual things. But yeah, that was Brent.
Like seamlessly, like it's sick. That's sick. most people, I mean, now you're in your hometown, so people probably know you, but like, everywhere else, no one knows who the fuck you are. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, there's people, a couple people in Venice is like, I didn't even know you were in it, and I'm in it even now. Well, you know, it's fun.
Same thing happened to Jim Carrey. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Hey, first and foremost, thank you for New Orleans. I've been there. There's no city like it in the world. How the hell did you shoot on Bourbon Street? Because that's a mission, even just walking down it.
How did we shoot on Bourbon Street? Oh God, it's an uncontrollable location. Like, so that means it doesn't matter how big your movie is, no one can shut down Bourbon Street. So it's like you're just gonna go shoot with like hundreds of super fucking fucked up drunk people. And we shot the movie on super wide lenses, so like, you know, you could easily get in the shot. So I knew I was just gonna go into the madness and absorb it into, like, you would see it. All the cool stuff would just be in the movie. On these wide lenses, you see everything, and so I knew I would probably be in the shot because I'm usually running around somewhere. So I dressed up as a sad clown, put like clown paint on that day in this crazy outfit with pigtails, and it was so hot and it started smearing off, and I just looked like, you know, like a Joker, like kind of. And then I would just talk to people, and people would be like looking at me weird, and I'm like, oh yeah, I look completely fucking insane. It was amazing. You just like go. And also the other weird thing is, like, yeah, Kate Hudson and Craig Robinson, after some time people realize that they start just standing there like this with their phones. So we'd have to like bring them in and go fast, and Craig is like, you know, it's so fucking funny. Mad and amazing.
I think we've got time for another couple of questions if anyone out there has something. Yeah, we've got questions down here. Oh, we'll take this one, then we'll take this other one. And then down this side.
Your character, how much of it was from your imagination? I mean, is that how you read the part? Is when you first read it, is that how you saw him? Or is that something that the script and the writing?
No, Fuzz was Fuzz before I arrived. Fuzz was fully Fuzz. Like, Fuzz is inside of this lady's head. There were things like when we went to Venice, I was like, before I did the junket, I was like, let me reread the screenplay because I haven't read that in you know, like a year and a half or whatever. And I was going back through some of my notes because I lost one of my notebooks of all my mad scribblings in New Orleans. But I reread the script and I was like, oh snap! I thought that was my decision. Why did I try to do that? Oh shit! So basically, all of it is this beautiful lady here. Yeah.
DMT. I don't get those kind of ideas. LSD. Just kidding. It's not bad. I'm having fun. I mean, we could get serious and you'd be like, where do your ideas come from? It's like asking, you know, I asked my mother because I came out of her.
Just down here.
I love the film and A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I just wanted to know what the screenwriting process was like.
The screenwriting process, what was it like for you writing the film?
Oh, what's the writing process like? Lonely. I go and lock myself in hotel rooms and fucking just. The thing with this one too, I was really like, just want the fucking end to be like a jackhammer, you know? But
Were you in New Orleans?
no, this one I wrote, it was the last script. The first few scripts I write at home, and then I get to kind of a blockage constipated moment. And then I used to go to a hotel room in Las Vegas. I like to save the encore because I like the lighting.
The same hotel room or just the same hotel?
I started to request a certain floor and facing a side, like the strip side. Then when Trump became president, I asked for the airport side. But then, yeah, there was like a shooting and I didn't like the vibe in Vegas anymore. But I would lock myself for like 3 to 5, sometimes even 7 days if there's a good hotel room deal. Midweek, like certain times of the year, nobody goes there and you can get good deals. And then just, you're like a lab rat in a box and you're the scientist. Both.
She's the greatest, isn't it?
I feel like I'd be remiss not to mention Evan Whitten, who plays Charlie, and he's fucking extraordinary. I mean, when I first started watching the film, was that by the end of it I would be crying, and so much of that is him. It's an incredible performance. What was it like working with him? Where did you find this incredible kid?
500 kids. I think like at least 35, 20 to 30. I don't know that I actually read this. He was the last kid, the last tape. My amazing casting directors, they also worked on the Balabash, and they're like, cause it's hard with young actors, cause it's like they're kids. Maybe they haven't done anything, or maybe they have, and they're like you. So it's like, it's hard, and suddenly at the end they sent me him on tape, and I was like, oh my god, how is it? He's so small. I'm kind of, there's something so gentle and fragile about him, and then he came and he processes everything. It's like he's not just like saying the lines or memorizing. He's like, yeah. Remember how you'd be like, they give him a note, and he'd be like, can I have a moment? Like really, yeah, explaining Heshing, and he just like got it. He understood what they were about, and then made it his own. And sometimes I only had 4 hours with him because it was night shoots. Yeah, it was intense, but he's magical, and he's kind of like the soul, like the human soul, in a way, in the movie. Mona Lisa's gonna be fine, I feel like. Or is she? Stay tuned.
Thank you both so much for being here. Huge congratulations on the film. Please give it up.